Risograph printers cannot print gray. And I didn't know that until I actually started printing. So if you have a photograph, a painting, a collage that you want to turn into a risograph print, this video is for you. I'm gonna show you my exact Photoshop process from color separation all the way to creating those beautiful halftone effects with bit mapping, so that your riso printer can correctly handle all those tones in your artwork. And there's one specific thing that I changed in this workflow since I started printing in 2017. I'll show you exactly what it is and why it makes a difference.
Okay, nerds, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you how you're going to separate your color layers and prepare your files for bit mapping for risograph printing. So first off, we have this artwork here. We've already made sure that the colors look exactly how we want them to look. All the saturation looks good. It's positioned correctly. And this is going to be printed on an 11 by 17 inch paper, which I think is the largest that a risograph printer can print at. So the very first thing you want to do when preparing your files is you want to make a duplicate, because once you do the color separation process, it's going to convert this one full color image into 4 separate files. So you're going to want to definitely make sure that you duplicate your artwork, and then we'll call this color separations. Okay. So now we have our duplicate. So we will X out of our original. And so now this is the file that we're going to work with. You want to make sure that you are first in CMYK color, so not RGB, not grayscale, but CMYK. In order for this to work, you need to flatten your layers. So while you're under the Layers tab, you click this little hamburger icon, and then you click Flatten Image. So now we're going to go under Channels, and here we can see all the different channels. So there's a cyan here, cyan, magenta, yellow. And so if for some reason you wanted to print it without a certain color layer, you could. This is actually cool. Like, you can print it without yellow. It might look awesome. But today we're going to do a CMYK style separation. So when you're under channels, you want to click this little hamburger icon, and then you want to click split channels. Okay, so click this, and then you can see that it took that one image and it separated out the different channels onto these different files. So that's why we wanted to make sure that we duplicated it. So this is our black layer, our yellow layer, magenta, and cyan. So I usually like to start with the yellow layer. When I am preparing the yellow layer, I know that this is going to be the lightest color. So a lot of times I will darken it up a little bit. So I'll go under curves, which on a Mac is Command M, and I'll darken it up just a little bit. Like that. So when you do the color separations, it converts them to grayscale. But what you want to do for a risograph printer to understand the tonality, so if you zoom in close, you can see that this is all different tones, and then this is gray. And so as we know, risograph printers hate gray. It just confuses them and they don't understand what to do with it. So what you need to do is you need to convert it into halftone dots. So we're going to go under Image, Mode, and then Bitmap. And so I usually just keep it at 300 pixels per inch, and then I use the halftone screen. And there are these other methods that you can use, but I always use the halftone screen. I know some people use the diffusion dither and it looks cool, but today we're going to use the halftone screen. Click OK. And then the frequency is pretty much like the number of dots that you see. If the frequency goes up, it's going to be more smaller dots, and if the frequency goes down, it's going to be fewer big dots. Okay, so we're going to keep the frequency as is, and then the angle, this is the part that I skipped early on in risograph printing, and it can make a big difference in your artwork. You want the angle of the dots to be slightly different in each of these 4 files. So the yellow is going to be 0, so 0 degrees. And we're going to click round, but there's these other shapes you can choose, but I always select round, and then I click OK. And then as you can see, when we zoom in, it's not gray anymore. So it turns all of that gray tonality into these very easy to read black and white dots. So this is something that the Risograph printer can interpret and then easily print, because with grays, it doesn't understand it and it can make the image look really muddy. So let's move to the next layer we're gonna print. So magenta, this is the one that will be printed in fluorescent pink. So I adjust it just a little bit because it is another one of the lighter layers. And then I press OK. And then I go under mode again, and then I go to bitmap. And then this is all good, 300 pixels per inch, halftone screen. And then the frequency is good. And then the angle for the pink layer, so the magenta layer, we're gonna want that to be 75 degrees. So when we zoom in, again, we can see the dots are slightly 75 degrees. So we have this bitmapped. And then let's go to the cyan layer. I like to just adjust this slightly. And then we go back to image, mode, bitmap. And then this is good, this is good. And then for this one, we don't want it to be at 75 degrees. We want it to be at 15 degrees. And when we zoom in again, we can see that doing this process converted all the grays into black and white dots. And then finally, we have our black layer. Again, we're gonna go into image, mode, bitmap. And then in this one, we don't want it to be at 15 degrees. We want it to be at 45 degrees. And there is some math involved. You can ask someone who knows more about screen printing or math about why these angles work. Pretty much when you are risograph printing a CMYK style artwork, when you don't do these angles, it can just print the ink right on top of the other layers of colors, which might be okay for whatever you're doing. It worked for me for many years because Riso inks are translucent. But by doing this process, you create what is called a rosette pattern. So sometimes if you aren't using these angles for the different layers, you can get what's called a moire effect, where it can look too gritty, as in like a grid, or you can get these repetitive wavy lines, which might not be the effect that you want. So I would try playing around with the angles. So the angles again are cyan, put them at 15%, magenta 75%, yellow 0%, and then black at 45%. When you are printing a CMYK style artwork, yellow will be printed in the yellow ink, magenta will be printed in the fluorescent pink ink, cyan will be printed in the aqua ink, and black will be printed in the black ink. You can always play with these colors. I know some people find the black to be a little too harsh for their artwork sometimes, and so they might print with a brown. Sometimes if you don't have access to an aqua, you can try something else like a blue. Let me know in the comments if this video is helpful or not, if you're learning something from it, or if there's some part of it that you want me to go more deeply into. With these files, we are going to save. So we're gonna save as a PDF. So usually when you send them to risograph printers, they want you to send them as a PDF. Okay, and I'll save it to my desktop.
So now that you have bitmapped your artwork, you now have a lot more control on how the Risograph printer interprets your master files. And if you are interested in this print, I do have it in the description box below. And if you want the full checklist of every step that you'll need to prepare your file for Risograph printing, I put together a free Risograph file prep checklist. And of course, it includes a section about bitmapping. If you want to see exactly how the printing process for this print went, including the moment where my Risograph printer made a sound that I can only describe as completely demonic, watch this video here next. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!